If you've been watching my videos the past couple of weeks, I have been doing alternative adaptations on Fridays. I've done Clue, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dungeons and Dragons. And if you don't know where this is going, of course, this is heading towards Barbie. But before I do Barbie on Friday, I want to talk about, I found this article on Sharon Stone's unmade Barbie movie shows how Hollywood has changed since the 90s. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Sharon Stone revealed her attempt to make a Barbie movie was laughed out of the room in the 1990s, which says a lot about Hollywood then and now. And so, for those of you who don't know, that's Sharon Stone on the left, and that is Margot Robbie on the right, our Barbie. Barbie remains the biggest Hollywood success story of the past year. A union between a beloved Mattel toy brand and the director of Little Women and Lady Bird. There's a reason star and producer Margot Robbie pitched the combination as comparable to Steven Spielberg and dinosaurs. What you have here is a subject matter that generations of audiences grew up on and an auteur director bringing it to life in a fresh and exciting way. In 2019, Warner Brothers saw Robbie and Greta Gerwig's vision, much to the studio's reward 4 years later. That's a lesson. Listen to women. However, there was a time when such a pitch wouldn't have been accepted, no matter who the director was. In fact, Sharon Stone revealed in a recent social media post that she could not even get studio executives to entertain the basic idea of a Barbie movie during the 90s. And she was one of the biggest things in the 90s. After Basic Instinct, she was it. While commenting on an Instagram post by Barbie co-star America Ferrera, which featured Ferrera's acceptance speech at the Critics' Choice Awards, Stone revealed her own disheartening pitch story for Barbie back in the Clinton years. I was laughed out of the studio when I came with the Barbie idea in the 90s with the support of the head of Barbie, Stone said in an IG post. How far we've come. Thank you, ladies, for your courage and endurance. Stone was not the only actress unable to get a Barbie movie made. Amy Schumer and Anne Hathaway were famously both attached to an intellectual property in the 2010s over at Sony before the IP wound up with Robbie's production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment. Interested in the Anne Hathaway, not so interested in Amy Schumer's. Nonetheless, the fact that Stone could not even gain momentary studio interest in the idea of a Barbie picture provides a telling contrast for the industry then and now, and by extension a window into the evolving values of our monoculture. Throughout most of the 1990s, Sharon Stone was considered one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and certainly among the most objectified and sexualized, for sure. Because when people think Basic Instinct, the scene that immediately comes to mind is the scene with her crossing her legs, because that's the world we live in. She famously alleged on multiple occasions that director Paul Verhoeven tricked her into doing full frontal nudity in Basic Instinct, a charge Verhoeven continues to deny. The aftermath of that movie, however, was Stone becoming a major star, and yet she was essentially typecast into the film fatale role, wherein she would often disrobe and be punished at the end. Total Recall, and I can't remember any of the movies. Catwoman, I guess, also, where she played an out-and-out villain. But I believe her. I believe her because there was a movie some years ago by a French director where he basically coerced his two main stars into doing actual fellatio on film, and he put that in his film and submitted that to Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival, and the audience was so appalled they got up and walked out. Like droves of people walked out because they're like, I am at Cannes Film Festival, I should not be watching porn, what is going on? So I can believe that Verhoeven tricked her into doing the full frontal nudity, and it's a shame that is what she is known for the most in Basic Instinct. Notably, one film she produced in the 90s was her own star vehicle, The Quick and the Dead. I love that movie, 1995. That revisionist Western from Sam Raimi, I did not know Sam Raimi was doing that, saw Stone play a Clint Eastwood type who was not objectified at all. Instead, she took what she wanted from the likes of Russell Crowe and a baby-faced Leonardo DiCaprio. The movie was also a flop, and the following year she was in another sensual thriller, Diabolique. I can't even remember what happens in Diabolique, but I love the hell out of The Quick and the Dead. None of which is to say that Stone was not respected at the time. In 1996, she received an Oscar nomination for Best Actress after appearing in Martin Scorsese's Casino, where she played a showgirl turned unfaithful mafia wife. She did very well in that movie. I loved her performance in that movie.
Get out of here.
I'm going. I want my money right now.
Don't get your money. Don't worry.
The arrangement is over.
No kidding. No kidding!
And I still get my money. I need some cash right now. You can't just put me in the street.
Yet her career was clearly boxed in by how almost entirely male producers and male-run studios perceived her as the blonde bombshell in a decade with virtually no women directors leading major studio projects. The ones who did were either directing romantic comedies or were not making women pictures, which is to say movies starring women, a la Catherine Bigelow's Point Break. Catherine Bigelow, ex-wife of James Cameron. So, to learn that Stone couldn't get studio heads to take seriously the idea of a Barbie movie in a decade dominated by family entertainment like Toy Story, the Disney Renaissance, or, Spielberg and dinosaurs, is illuminating, especially since Robbie's career shares a few overlaps with Stone, including how she got a lot of critics' attention by starring as a bombshell wife of dubious loyalty in a Martin Scorsese picture, 2013's Wolf of Wall Street. She also did a cross-your-legs scene, but Martin had enough class not to put that on camera. But Robbie was able to carve out a niche as both a star and producer that's allowed her to experiment in a variety of films and genres, including getting a studio to make a Barbie movie that low-key acts as an intro to Feminism 101 seminar. In a certain scene, it does suggest demonstrable progress has been made in a culture that has undergone a kind of reckoning with the Me Too movement, which saw Hollywood at the epicenter of its beginnings in 2017. Still, the fact Robbie had to encourage executives to be brave about making Barbie, even as some executives at Mattel apparently cringed at the gynecologist joke, suggests the progress is not nearly as far as we might hope. I really wanted this article to tell us the story of how she actually I wanted to know what her pitch was. I wanted to know her pitch. I wanted to know her concept. I wanted to know what she wanted, what her Barbie movie was going to look like. Why didn't it? I was like, you're press. Reach out to Sharon. Ask her story. Let her tell her story. I am not Den of Geek. I can't reach out to Sharon Stone and ask her personally, what was your pitch? What was your Barbie movie? I really want to know this. I really want to know what you were thinking in 1990s and how close was it to what Margot Robbie and why can't I remember her name? Lady Bird girl, Greta Gerwig. How close of it was it to their concept? I really would like to know, but that is it. So they just talked about the differences in Hollywood then and now. I'm going to be talking about the Barbie movie coming up this Friday, and basically my series is about how, because like mostly adaptations are, story to story, like book to film or play to film, something like that. This is where you take something that is not a story, it's a doll, and they adapted a doll into a film. So yes, it was fun seeing how they adapted a board game, how they adapted a theme park ride, how they adapted a tabletop RPG game into successful movies, or successful movies, critically acclaimed movies. And this one is both successful and critically acclaimed, and all they had was a doll. So that's going to be fun. If you like my videos, please support the channel by subscribing or donating through Ko-fi, Cashapp, or Super Thanks. You can join my membership down below the video. And also, if you would like to get you some fantasy nerd merch, you can get that down below the video on that little merchandise shelf. But thanks for watching.